happened in my life. My mom and dad bought me an encyclopedia set. I don't know if you guys know, but what they used to do, these salesmen used to come door to door. I don't know if you remember. And they used to sell these encyclopedias, knock on the door and say, hey, you want to buy some encyclopedias? And luckily my mom said yes. And I think this was a very important point in my life because it sparked my love for information and for gaining more and more and more of it. My hunger to know more about everything and anything would stay with me for the rest of my life. And I myself have been told on many occasions that I think I know everything, to which I take as a compliment. I've never stopped learning because information is the most important thing in our day and age. Never stop learning, never stop wanting to know more and more and more. And I've also found, thank you very much, and I've also found that you never stop learning in life. No matter how successful you get, no matter how far you get in your life, somehow, even in me, in the industry that I'm in, you always find a way that you are humbled in life, no matter how successful you are. So never stop trying to be humble and never stop learning. Oh, thank you. I was never a great student. I had potential as an academic, but to be quite honest, it was boring. I was a big daydreamer. Every parents' evening, my teachers would tell my mom and dad that if I applied myself more, I could be a straight A student. I was always the class clown, and I think it's because I had something in me that made people want to be entertained, to make them laugh, and to make them happy, and to make them feel good about themselves. I believe now, looking back, that this is my gift, and I'm living my life according to the gift that God has given me.
Amen.
There was always music in my house. My parents always hosting parties. My family was always there. We sang, we danced, and I was surrounded by lots of love and lots of laughter. See, my father worked really hard, sent me and my brother to nice school, but he never forgot to remind me how expensive the school was. Every time the term ended. He wasn't a musician, but he passed his love for music onto me, and I will pass that on to my daughter as well. Sometimes I wonder what I'd be doing today if it wasn't for all that music that surrounded me. Sometimes I think, I was good with English, literature and stuff in school. Maybe I would have been a journalist, which is kind of ironic, taking into account all the things that people have written about me. My story as a musician only begins in my first year of high school. Myself and a couple of friends on a school trip decided that we would start singing songs and rapping our favorite lyrics and beatboxing. You guys remember when people couldn't make beats? So we just hey, yeah. And that is what we did to pass the time for us to make music. And this is before we had any equipment or computer programs or anything like that to make actual music ourselves. When we started, it was fun, but some of us were more serious than others. And as time went on, we decided that the three of us in the group would start a group, and the group was called Entity. I don't know why we called it that. It was a terrible name. If you ask me now what it was that we were actually rapping or singing about at the age of 14, I wouldn't be able to tell you. What could a 14-year-old making music tell you about life? But the passion was there. I remember one of the songs, we were 14, and we made a song called First Gear. And the song was about, what was the song about? I think it was about driving a car or something. But we were 14, so what the hell did we know? I honestly couldn't tell you, but in fact I have a friend of mine that works at MTV, his name is VG, who plays the music video of Entity every year on my birthday with my skinny self and my big ears as a joke, because he thinks it's funny for people to see me without any money. He thinks it's hilarious, clearly, but the passion was undoubtedly there. Now earlier I told you I'd explain the name AKA. So one day we decided everybody in the group needed a name, and we chose the worst names ever. we decided that we needed to have a name before second break and what our names would be. And I chose AKA because I believed I could do absolutely everything and anything. AKA the songwriter, AKA the performer, AKA the lover, AKA the fighter. Maybe even AKA the motivational speaker. AKA the businessman, the myth, the legend, and on and on and on. I feel you, girl. Now, success is relative. One man or woman's success might be another one's failure. If you ask me if I think I'm successful, I'll tell you yes. But if Bill Gates woke up tomorrow and he had the same amount of money as me, he'd have a heart attack. At the stage where I formed my little music group, success to us was going to the mall and having people recognize us. I remember what we would do is we'd go to the mall and count how many people would come up to us and ask us to take a picture. And see how many girls' phone numbers we could get off of our newfound fame. So at the moment, at that time, we thought this was fame, and that to us was success. The point I'm trying to make is, it's important for you to remember not to measure yourself with someone else's measuring tape. Don't measure yourself and your own success in your life with other people. Quite profound, I'd like to say. Eventually, life moved on. We put out an album, and we had a little time in the sun, and I had my first taste of fame. No, like, this is like proper fame, before like Twitter, before Instagram fame, where like celebrities are like celebrities. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Jam Ellie, you know, that time. Proper fame, before Instagram and before Twitter. And we finished school, and I was faced with a decision. My decision was, what do I do with my life now? So the three of us in the group that were left, it's very important that I recognize how lucky I was to have parents who were supportive of what I wanted to do with my life. Because I know for a lot of people, you want to pursue your dream, right? But in order for you to pursue your dream, you need your family behind you, you need your parents behind you. And unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. But I was lucky enough to have that. I was faced with a decision, what now? And the other guys' parents weren't about to, you know, spend their money that they, you know, spent on their kids for 5 years for them to turn around and say, okay, mom and dad, I want to rap. You know what I mean? For me, I told my parents, this is what I want to do. But they did tell me, you need to study something. So I said, oh, what am I going to study? Oh, sound engineering. That sounds like rap. Sounds like something I could get a certificate for. At the time, I didn't even know what sound engineering was. But what I did know is it allowed me time to spend in a recording studio. And that was the only place on earth that I wanted to be. I didn't even know what it meant to go study and be tertiary, and I never thought I was cut out for that type of life. But I wanted to be close to the music. And this was the beginning of my hustle. I did 1 year at sound engineering school, ASE, and then towards the end of the year, I realized, hey, I don't want to roll cables for the rest of my life. I don't want to do this and do this and do this. I want to follow my dream. But the other thing is, at the same time, my father's business had collapsed. My mom and dad were getting divorced that year, and it was very hard for me. So I decided, okay, I need to make some money. And that's what I did. I got a job at the SABC Sports, downstairs in the dungeon, and I mixed radio ads for a whole year. They paid me $5,000 a month, and I worked from, I got to work at 8 a.m. all the way until 5, and then they'd give me a break, and I'd come back, I'd mix through the whole evening, and I did that for a whole year. They paid me $5,000, and I quit when I discovered how much the people reading the ads were making. And I decided, well, now is the time for me to make a move. I want to follow my music career. And that was the beginning of my hustle. I did 1 year, dropped out, sat my parents down, and told them, Mom and Dad, I want to be a musician, and I have a plan. I have a vehicle. Funny enough, that was in 2008. It's now 2018. That was 10 years ago. The first 2 years were difficult. My father's business had fallen apart. They were getting divorced, and it felt like a mountain to climb for me. I had very limited connections in the industry. I had no money, and I had no one to turn around to and finance all of these grand plans that I had. But what I did have was a circle of people who believed in me and trusted in my talent. I'm not gonna lie, for the first 2 years, 3 years, I spent a lot of time at home watching Judge Judy, watching TV commercials, you know what I mean? Infomercials. The new app, what? Get it now, call 0800, no. And that was my life, but I never gave up. I always thought, this is something that I'm destined to do, and I'm going to succeed at this thing that I want to do. For me, I feel like when people ask me, hey, AKA, when did you ever think that things would be like this? Did you ever think you'd have a life like this or a career like this? I always told them yes. I never thought of quitting. I never ever thought I would quit. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. But the next turning point in my life was about to arrive. And this is when I found myself a mentor, a big brother. So many people ask me, how do I become successful? How do I get to your level and where you are? Yes, this is the Youth Summit, but we cannot expect young people to make something of themselves and reach their full potential without mentorship. Someone to show them the ropes and steer them in the right direction. If you ask most successful people who their mentor was, they'll be able to tell you. We need more mentors. Young people are not going to get to where they need to be without mentorship. It's very, very important. In the same breath, we need to take young people who are willing to listen, to take advice and follow instruction. I think it's very important for young people to make their own mistakes. You can always have that parent or uncle or aunt who's going to tell you, hey, do this, do this, do this. But if you don't make your own mistakes sometimes, you're never going to learn. You know, a small child needs to fall and bump their knee or scratch their elbow, whatever the case, to know, don't touch that, that's hot, don't do this. And it's the same kind of thing when it comes to business or when it comes to growing up. You have to make your own mistakes. So my best advice is find someone in your immediate surroundings. It could be family, it could be a community leader, a businesswoman, or a businessman. Identify somebody who has that aura, that energy that you want to feed off, and play your part to get next to that person so you can use them. And when I say use, I don't say use in a negative way. I mean it in a positive way. Use them to inspire yourself, build yourself, and energize and fuel your vehicle with the power of your dreams. It's very, very important. Now, we might not have mentors falling from a tree, towering everywhere, and that's one of the challenges. But it's always important to remember that you need to get in where you fit in. The world doesn't owe you anything. Nobody feels sorry for you, so stop feeling sorry for yourself. And so I found my person. He was my first manager. Ooh, see now I'm big time. Now I got a manager. Hey. He got me my first proper record deal, my first proper bookings and proper opportunities. From there on out, I was now in a position to further my career. The #1 albums and accolades came thick and fast. Now I'd list them all, but I only have 10 minutes. So, Nomzamo, I'm sorry if I go over time, so I don't want to name them all. Do you know what I'm saying? I dedicated myself to my craft and to treating every single day as an opportunity for me to be a better version of myself than I was the day before. It's very important when you wake up in the morning to realize that every day is a new opportunity. Now, I'm not saying it in like a Walt Disney, fantasy type of way. I really mean that every new day is a brand new opportunity for you to change your circumstance, for you to change the situation that you're in, and for you to get where you need to be. I love waking up in the morning and seeing the light and the day and the sun and the birds for the first time. It's like a clean slate. So make sure you take every bit of advantage out of that new start. Every day is a new start. Of course, you have to take the good with the bad. As I mentioned earlier, as someone who started with the idea of going to the mall to see if people would recognize me. My fame and the challenges that came with it became bigger than ever. No longer did I belong to myself or my family. I was now under the gaze and glare of the spotlights at every turn. For the people that know me, I have not always been this calm and patient and mature. Handsome and charismatic, yes, but not always patient, calm, and mature. I struggled with my private life, being subject to discussion in newspapers, TV shows, content for people to launch their own careers in the music industry and otherwise. Now, you might say, oh, but AKA, this is what you asked for. This is what you wanted to be. Yes and no. I appreciate the fact that if nobody cared, I wouldn't have a career. But it's important for one in such a position to find something that grounds them and keeps them sane. For me, it has always been my family and my music. Point I'm trying to make is find that thing in your life, your calling, your gift, your passion. If you don't have a passion in life, then you're not living. You might as well be dead. Life is for passionate people. Find out what grinds you, what grounds you. Find out what that spark is inside of you. What keeps your fire burning? Is it your career? Is it your family? Is it helping others? I think if you don't find that, you might as well be dead. I look at my daughter sometimes and wonder what the world is going to be like in 10 or even 5 years. We live in an age of Instagram, and the pressure to be successful and appear successful is higher than ever. I want you, especially the young women gathered here today, to remember one thing. Nobody on social media posts any of the bad things or challenges happening in their lives. All we see is picture-perfect images. And do you guys even know that you're attempting to make something of yourselves in the most challenging and materialistic era of all time? Do you guys know that you guys have it double as hard as I ever did? Everything in this life right now seems to have a price. Your morals, your principles, your confidence, your belief. The question is, are you willing to sell them? Think about that. Are you willing to forsake and sell all of those things to take a shortcut? You see, whether you like it or not, these social media platforms, especially Instagram, are tools of consumerism. They are designed for you to compare yourself to the next person over things that you don't actually need. It makes you want to fill your lives with objects that you think will make you feel better about yourselves, but you don't need them. Don't fall for it. Okay, a little Gucci, a little Louis never hurt nobody. Okay. But do not at any cost ever let anybody convince you that you need something from them or that you need something at all in order for you to be the best version of yourself. We've all heard the stories. We all know what those things cost if you want to take shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? Don't just think that it's people who are not famous who are under this pressure. In fact, the ones who are under the most pressure are actually celebrities, trying to appear much more wealthy and much more successful than they really are. So take your time and be patient. One of my favorite sayings is, God helps those who help themselves. Yes. Did someone say yes? Now, I spoke about the vehicle. What type of person do you want to be? Do you want to be in control of your own destiny or not? To the young men in here today, everybody wants to boss up, to be the one in charge of their lives and their careers. Are you prepared to do whatever it takes to get to your destination? Let me tell you a little story about money. South Africa is one of the most financially illiterate countries in the world. What that means is we don't know how banks work. We don't know about compound interest. We don't know about all these things that they kind of use to control us in terms of our money and how we spend things, right? It's almost as if we are afraid to talk about our money, even to ask for it from the person who owes us. Do you know that feeling? That somebody owe you money, but you're scared to ask them? I used to be like that. For the first 5 or 6 years of my life, I was satisfied with getting my money in my account at the end of the month, after going on the road and doing shows and so forth and so forth. It was easy to be comfortable letting someone else handle the business side of things, even if I was aware that I wasn't even in control of my own destiny. It was only when I became a father that I realized I could no longer sit around, I'm speaking to the guys here, and wait for another man to pay me so I could decide to take care of my own business and take things into my own control. Now you might say that this is an admirable thing to do and so forth, but this requires maturity, patience, and a distinct willingness to grow as a man and as a person to be able to handle such a responsibility. It takes a man to raise a child. Any boy can get somebody pregnant, but it takes a man to raise a family, to take care of their own. Now, it's important to remember that no one who ever tried to do something great didn't have to deal with somebody telling them that they couldn't do it. Think about it like this. Think about the person who invented the TV, right? So imagine me pitching the idea. Okay, boss, I've got this idea. It's like a box, and there's like images in it. You can see people inside it. Nobody's ever gonna buy that. Think of the story of the home computer, Microsoft, Apple, the PC, a computer. Who's gonna want that? That's never gonna work. The story of the aeroplane. You think we can make ourselves fly? That's never gonna happen. All these stories have something in common. Jay-Z said it best. Jay-Z, not Chigozu. Jay-Z said it best. People can tell you how to do it, but they never did it. I never spent any time in my life listening to someone's advice on something I am trying to do and achieve who never did what I'm trying to do. This applies to personal growth, career advice, and anything in general in life. All throughout my career, people have told me, you'll never do it. You will fall off the face of the earth if you carry on like this. Even to this day, as I stand here, I have people telling me that I will not succeed. I will not be able to take control of my own business and run things myself. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the experience. I'm not responsible enough. People say all of these types of things because they're scared of your greatness. You need to realize that will never, ever, ever, ever change. The world does not owe you anything, you see. A lot has been said about they, the supposed haters, you know, the naysayers. But they play an integral part in the ecosystem of success. They are the best PR company that money cannot buy. You can buy yourself some friends, you can buy yourself some billboards, flyers, social media pop-up banners, but somehow you cannot buy haters. Only success can buy haters. You need to realize that the better that you do, the more of them will appear. And it's a sign that you are on the right track. You know, they say, think about what they say about dogs and cars and tall trees and wind and all that stuff. I've always been a spiritual person. I don't know how the people in this room feel, but I cannot begin to imagine my life without the presence of God in it. Sure. Amen. My talent is nothing more than God speaking through me when I'm on a stage. I feel His energy in all facets of my life, And if my talent is a gift from God, then I need to be able to honor and respect it with dedication and hard work. Once again, God helps those who help themselves. And if you believe, and if you must believe in yourself and that God is in you, then surely you must believe in God. Without turning this into a sermon, everybody here has a gift. The challenge in life is identifying what your gift is and working tirelessly to turn your dream into reality. One of the biggest problems I see in young people is thinking that we're living in a movie where everything is magically just gonna come together. You have a responsibility to yourself and to your family, your friends. Let me say that again. You have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, your friends, and to your country to be who you were meant to be in this life. Because you were made to be great. You were made to be powerful. You need to set goals for yourself. Let them consume you to the point of obsession. I am obsessed, totally 100% obsessed with my craft. I treat it with respect, and it respects me as a result. Take care of the music, and the music will take care of you. Take yourself seriously. How can people take you seriously if you don't take yourself seriously? Now when that happens, a lot of people are going to tell you that you're stuck up, you're difficult to work with, but don't sweat it, because what they are actually saying is that they are not ready for your greatness. They cannot process your dream. They're slow. What I have discovered recently, and I say recently because I believe that in life you must never stop learning about new things and about yourself. I have rediscovered the power of being kind. Wouldn't it be nice if we made it cool to be nice again? Social media, TV, blogs, and so forth. Being mean and being aggressive and pulling each other down, it's almost like it's cool, no? What if we made it cool to have manners, to help each other, to lift each other up? And that is what is so special about this summit. We are changing the paradigm that we have to climb over each other and step on top of each other in order to get to the top. Amen. So give yourselves a big round of applause. Amen. Now there was no way I was going to stand on the stage and not plug my album. My album is called Touch My Blood. Y'all gonna go get that in stores. I'm just joking. I released my latest album, no I'm serious. I released my latest album a month or so ago. It's called Touch My Blood, as I said. And obviously I had to put that in my speech. Because hopefully now you think I'm an awesome person and you want to support me. Please go back. Bye. But the real reason that I'm bringing it up is because what the title means to me and how it speaks to where I am in my life right now. Everywhere I would go, people would always say, hey Mega, touch my blood, touch my blood, touch my blood. And the most valuable resource we have to each other is each other. Your friends, your brother, your sister, your father, your mother. This is the greatest connection between us that allows us to be the greatest version of ourselves. I always explain that the title represents a need for people to connect with me through my music, to feel my dreams, my pain, my happiness, my trials, and my tribulations. But upon closer inspection, it's actually about appreciation for your fellow human being. Do not gain the world and lose your soul. Be grateful for the small things in your life, for this beautiful day, for a plate of warm food at night, for a roof over your head and clothes on your back, for your health and for your happiness. Strive for more, yes. Push yourself to change your current situation, whatever that might be. But remember that there's always someone with bigger problems than your own. We get so down on ourselves and we pity. Self-pity is the most addictive thing in the whole world. Throw yourself a big pity party, street bash. You'll be that party forever. You never want to leave. You want to wallow in that energy. And nothing comes from that energy. Pull yourself up. Get out of that rut. Get your ass into gear. I'll bring it back to the dream. Passion is everything. Passion. Sorry guys, I'm not a public speaker. I'll bring it back to the dream. Passion is everything. Passion will keep you going when times get tough. Passion will keep you awake at night when everyone else is fading. Passion will make you jump out of bed in the morning, day after day, because passion gives you purpose. Passion gives you purpose. Find your purpose in this life. Find out what makes that fire burn strong deep inside you and harness it to drive you. Then take that dream and take that passion and fill up your, can I say fill up? Fill up your vehicle. Fill up your vehicle with that dream and that passion. I can't say fill up, no? I can't. Thank you so much for listening to me today, guys. I'm by no means a professional speaker. I'm just passionate about what I do. And I'm passionate about young people because the youth is at the forefront of every major breakthrough in every field and aspect of business and culture. You live in a country where anything is possible. You live in a country where you can go from being a petrol attendant to a billionaire. Trust me, I've met a person like that. Started out as a petrol attendant and today is a billionaire. Be your own biggest fan and be your own biggest critic. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. And if it isn't, there's always tomorrow. Stay dangerous. And like Nomzamo says on that ad, what are you waiting for?
What? Ah, kitty bitches! Hey, he's not gonna do it! He's not gonna do it! Thank you, Keenan. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We want to do a Q&A, but he's got a very important radio interview happening, so we won't be. 10 minutes. See ya. Done. 10 minutes. 5. Okay. 5. We're going to take 2 questions. 2 questions. 2 questions. Whoever lands here. 2 questions. Brother in the cap, is that you? Who? Whoever's here. Who? Me. It's you, brother. Me. In the cap. Who? As soon as brother run to the front. 1. Yeah. 2 in the hat. So there's no guys. All right, sharp.
Thank you, Salmonani. Hi, King. Hi, Zamo. before I ask my question, I just want to speak to you, Zamane. Sisi, you inspire quite a lot of people. You inspire people older than you. When the students are more show young to me, you're from Durban, you are hard and we love you, and you're pretty and you're sexy, and I'm like, okay. Okay, and question for Keenan. Do you feel that the amount of hate that you get in the industry, either from other people's fans or just in the industry, is it because you are limited to just speaking English and being colored? Or is it because you're not afraid to speak the truth, your mind? You literally like you go off and I'm like, every time I hear something like bad about AKA, I'm like, I'm so hacked, but like, you know, so here I am today, and I feel like I know you better, so yeah.
Thank you for the question. I don't think about people who think negatively about me. I don't pay attention to it. And like I said, I also use it as a sign that I'm doing good. Nobody ever. I explain it like this: if you feel some way about AKA Keenan, at least you feel strongly about it. The worst thing is people not feeling anything about you at all.
Greetings to everyone. I'm Balakara. Okay, my name is Nozamo Ujanlizo. I'm from Ulundi. It's 3 hours away from Durban. That's where I come from. That's where I was born and bred. I'm an aspiring artist, hip hop and R&B and contemporary artist. Where I come from, okay, I'd like to thank the Tegrini municipality for creating this opportunity. Okay, basically what I want to say is that I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I've been knocking on so many doors, and right now, as I am knocking on this door right now, is the fact that I want to be a business entrepreneur as well. I want to open my own music, and I have registered.
Then let's definitely, please can you get her details?
Okay.
Yes, please. We can have one of the team leaders
Thank you,
get your
thank you very much.
details.
I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
appreciate it. I really needed a question. One more question. I need a guy though, a guy. Umuzo. I do owe you. I owe him. I owe him a question. Wrong point.
Hi, my name is Junior Janga. I'm a third year PR student. Actually met you a couple of times at Radio DUT, big fan. So my question is, considering where you are right now, could you say that you've ever faced any significant challenges to your own success? By significant, I don't mean like any hurdle, I mean really significant hurdles to the point where you really considered stopping what you're doing. And follow-up question, hook me up with the content details, bro. Like business cards, guys, we want with content.
I believe that challenges are as big as you allow them to be. You know, challenges, it's about your attitude towards a challenge that determines how big it is. I have been lucky and fortunate that I still have both my parents around, they're still alive, and my family has been supportive. But what I will say is, anybody who tries to build a career, I can confidently say that everything that I have in my life happen with these two hands, with this brain. And significant challenges, I don't think I've faced any. I'm just such a positive person that I can't even think of telling you like what my challenges have been. I think it sounds weird to say I haven't had any challenges, but right now I feel so blessed that I don't think I have had any. I don't know.
Right? He said each day is an opportunity to turn over a new leaf, so that could be it. Thank you so much. Thank you, AKA, for gracing us with your presence. Thank you for being an incredible speaker and an amazing musician. One more time!
ชั่วโมงหน่อย